Part 24. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 231. Of course, the current situation does not require such a serious word as going with the flow. Now Xiaoming is deserting. Xiaoming himself is playful and has forgotten his work. He also ignored the large group of hunters who were testing, and went deep into the Lost Melody wetland alone. He had a strange feeling that there seemed to be something deep in the wetland, calling him strongly. This special feeling has never been wrong. Xiaoming decided to follow his feelings. So much so that the fact that the human-faced ape pretended to be an examiner to deceive the candidates and was killed by the magician Hisoka did not attract Xiaoming's attention. Hisoka was one of the two people that Xiaoming feared the most among the candidates. He was the guy dressed as a clown. He and the nail man were deeply wary of Xiaoming, not only because their telekinesis was very strong. More importantly, they had extremely dark thoughts deep in their hearts. It seemed that the other people around them were all lambs to be slaughtered in their eyes. Xiaoming was disgusted from the bottom of his heart by this kind of guy who did not treat others as human beings at all. It was worse than the beasts in the Lost Melody wetland. Although most of them are good at fraud, those are just means of making a living. Although this kind of fraud has murderous intentions, it does not feel evil. The law of the jungle is just to meet the basic needs of survival. Compared with the human heart and ghost, Xiaoming prefers these pure beasts. After going deep into the wetland jungle, Xiaoming was still smooth. Although this wetland is called the lair of fraudsters, most beasts also make a living by fraud. But this kind of trick limited to the biological level, under Xiaoming's concentration and circle, all-round and large-scale reconnaissance. These beasts' tricks are not effective at all. Many strange creatures that feed on humans not only did not deceive Xiaoming. On the contrary, because of their novel ecological image, they were captured by Xiaoming and stuffed into Guangmingding to raise them. Playing with strawberry turtles, the combination of turtles and strawberries is a delicacy. Catch a few and taste them in the future. Lazy frog, the body is too big, and it doesn't seem to be very delicious. Forget it, don't want it. As Xiaoming continued to go deeper into the wetland, there were many strange species in Guangmingding. However, the pressure gradually increased. Xiaoming had summoned Xiaohe. Controlled by Green Xiaoming. Xiaohe appeared to be more powerful in the Hunter x Hunter secret realm. He was 5 meters tall. In terms of strength, speed, etc., he was 30% stronger than in the Magic Planet. With him by his side, this expedition became easier. The alien lord is the top predator in this wetland. With the appearance of Xiaohe, the feeling in the dark became stronger. It is strange that Xiaoming did not cultivate alien warriors with Xiaohe and so many hosts to choose from. This should be the first thing to think of when entering any secret realm. But Xiaoming never had this idea. Xiaoming didn't care about anything else, and changed his job to alien cavalry on the spot and moved forward at high speed. He rode himself, Silver Xiaoming rode Green Xiaoming, and Wood rode Xiaohe. Running at high speed in the jungle, it caused a lot of chaos. After they passed by, many creatures wondered with lingering fear what the terrible monster just now was. The monster just stopped under a big tree. There is a huge spider web here, which can probably catch a child. A large spider with 16 legs is showing off on the web. It seems to be quite extraordinary. Its body was scratched into 4 pieces by Xiaohe's claws. It is not Xiaoming's target. Xiaoming's target is a half-foot-long big bug stuck in the middle of the spider web. This bug is an arthropod, a bit like an ant, but it has only 4 legs. How can such an unprepossessing insect have such a strong attraction to itself? I can't figure it out. But that feeling is not false. Green Xiaoming, who possessed Xiaohe, deeply felt that his whole body seemed to be longing for this bug. There is not even 2 taels of meat, not even enough for a meal. Xiao Hei's taste is also a bit problematic. Although he didn't understand why, Xiao Ming still caught the ant while complaining and put it in the textbook of the uniformed teacher for analysis. As soon as he finished this action, Xiao Ming felt relaxed. It seemed that he had accomplished something extraordinary. Then, the importance of the family mission came to Xiao Ming's mind again. Thinking of playing here, it can be done anytime. The exam and the matter of the young master Killua should be more important, right? He was really idle before. Xiao Ming ran towards the examination room again. How fast can a 5-meter-tall alien run? He caught up quickly. After releasing the clone, Xiao Ming followed Xiaoja and Kurapika and arrived at the venue of the second exam, Biscayne Forest Park, on time. The examiner of the first exam had already left, and a group of candidates were staring at a large warehouse in a daze. It needs to be explained here that in the original plot, these candidates have to run for a long time. But the game will not let players spend so much time running. So the running time is appropriately shortened. In the secret realm, at 12 noon, the door of the warehouse opened. A cute little beauty and a slightly dull big man appeared in front of everyone. They were the examiners of the second exam, Menkai and Boela. They called themselves food hunters, but this name seemed a bit ridiculous to Xiao Ming. It would be more appropriate to call them chefs. The food exam was not difficult for Xiao Ming. Although Xiao Ming could not cook, he could always use energy to enhance the taste. Kahara's exam question was roasted whole pig, Menkai's exam question was sushi. The big guy Boera did not make it difficult for the candidates. As long as they could beat the big-nosed wild boar in the forest and roast it, he would pass. He ate 72 roasted whole pigs by himself, and his amazing appetite stunned everyone. He also ate the roasted whole pig that Xiao Ming made for him. He couldn't help but look at Xiao Ming differently. But the beautiful girl Menkai's personality was quite awkward. She actually treated the candidates with the requirements for treating a chef. Everyone was eliminated. Seeing that the situation was not right, Xiao Ming did not show up and did not even come forward to hand in his work. This made Boera on the side a little strange. According to Xiao Ming's ability to roast a whole pig, he should be able to pass this round. Why didn't he perform? He didn't know that Xiao Ming just didn't want to be the first to stand out. At this time, one candidate also caught Xiao Ming's special attention. Although he did not pass Menkai's test. But the way he walked, the smug mood in secret, and the look of being sober while everyone else is drunk. This is a player. It turns out that even if it is a single-player mission, if the online time of different players coincides with the mission plot, the system will put them together. It is probably not worth wasting resources to give two players separate secret realms. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 232. It is not a coincidence to occasionally meet other players in a secret realm. At this time, there are at least over 1 million players in the secret realm. It is just that because there are so many secret realms, and the progress and locations of each player are different, it is rare to meet face to face. The number of secret realms is at most tens of thousands, and the common secret realms are even fewer. Most secret realms have many people online at the same time. Not to mention the secret realms with a relatively high appearance rate such as Hunter x Hunter. It is possible that tens of thousands of people are online at the same time. Since it is the early stage of the game, large secret realms are also in the early stage, and the locations where players land are quite scattered. For each player, the system only needs to simulate the environment near his location. For example, in a secret realm related to the Earth, some players are in Shanghai, and some players are in New York. Will the system simulate the entire Earth? Of course not. Resources cannot be wasted like this. The system only simulates Shanghai and New York, which is enough. It is not even necessary to simulate the entire city. 1 or 2 streets and a few buildings are almost enough. Therefore, you can say that these players are playing in the same secret realm, or you can say that they are not. In the early stage, the probability of players meeting in the secret realm is not very high. The most normal situation is that everyone finds the main plot and then cuts into the main plot at the same time, so that they can really meet. This is the situation Xiaoming is facing now. This player must have some skills, cutting into the main plot so early. Haha, as early as himself. What Xiaoming really feels amazing is that the other party actually has a telekinetic reaction. This player is not simple, just with strong life energy. His telekinesis has obviously been systematically trained. The total amount of telekinesis is probably similar to Zhang Wen, but the proficiency is far superior. Could it be that this guy is a reincarnation? Well, it is very likely. But everyone is unfamiliar, and Xiaoming will not take the initiative to make contact. At this moment, he is looking up, watching a little old man jumping down from the sky. His life energy is like the sun, grand and hot. Under the shining, even the evil thoughts of magician Hisoka and nail man Jitaleku were suppressed. He is definitely a super strong man. Whether or not everyone present was a psychic user, they were all intimidated by his aura. The person who came was Isaac Netero, the president of the Hunter Guild. In front of the president, the awkward little girl, Menkai, became like a primary school student who had just made a mistake. At the suggestion of the old president, the test item was changed to boiled eggs. The only difference was that the eggs to be boiled were those of a kind of spider called grape spider. This spider hangs its eggs on spider silk in the valley. It is very difficult to pick them. As for the taste after being cooked, although everyone was very happy to eat it, it was amazing. But in Xiaoming's mouth, it was just so-so. Compared with the food strengthened by his own source energy, it was a little less interesting. This group of unsophisticated people who have never seen the world. In the end, 44 people passed the test. They boarded the president's airship collectively. Is this thing really safe? Xiaoming was a little nervous. The airship was eliminated on Pangu Star. I didn't expect it to still exist here. The next plot is that the president asks Xiaja and Killua to play ball. It is difficult for ordinary players to get into this plot. The friendliness is not enough. Xiaoming is even more ignorant. Seeing Master Killua and the Hunter Guild president together, there is no safer than this. So Xiaoming found a corner to squat down and pretend to rest. In fact, he was analyzing the ant found in the wetland jungle with the uniform teacher. It is very likely that because Xiaoming was in the hunter secret realm, the analysis process was much faster than expected. At a certain moment of inspiration, the ant in the textbook disappeared. And Xiaoming could feel that his mind beast clone, the alien Lord Xiaohei, suddenly entered the evolution state. Temporarily unable to summon. It seems to make sense. Putting aside the difference in size, because of the existence of the exoskeleton, Xiaoming has always regarded the alien as a big bug. Now that he has analyzed a new type of bug, the alien mind beast has evolved accordingly, which seems very reasonable. Xiaoming didn't know that this kind of bug would be the famous Chimera ant in the future. Through research, he found that this bug has the ability to seize the DNA of other organisms and pass it on to its next generation. This ability is similar to that of the alien. The difference is that the alien still retains most of its own style, and only a small part will be affected by some foreign genetic codes. This is probably because the alien is a created race. They have been modulated by advanced civilizations for a long time and have a fairly mature genetic system. Foreign DNA will only be borrowed and absorbed in small amounts, and will not change the main style of the alien. Chimera ants are different. Except for the strict hierarchy, there is almost nothing that cannot be changed. The offspring of chimera ants may not look like ants at all. And the offspring of aliens, no matter how much they change, can basically be recognized as aliens at a glance. Xiaoming's mind beast clone Xiaohei, He has no consciousness of his own, but his body instinctively desires to obtain the ability of chimera ants to evolve himself. That's why he subconsciously pushed Xiao Ming to leave his main task and find this chimera ant. At this time, Xiao Ming could never have imagined that chimera ants would have such great potential. Even in the future, a chimera ant even killed the strongest psychic user he had ever seen, President Netero. In his eyes, this half-foot-long little thing had a very difficult time surviving in the Chimera wetlands. It was almost eaten by a spider. If someone came to tell him what would happen in the future at this time, Xiao Ming would definitely sneer, "You must be kidding me." Xiao Ming did not pay attention to the chimera ant, but he paid great attention to his intuition. Xiao He entered the evolutionary state, which made Xiao Ming very excited. For now, Xiao Ming's greatest combat power comes from the alien clone. Xiao He represents the temporary ceiling of Xiao Ming's combat power. Xiao Ming's other abilities, whether it is magic, telekinesis, ninjutsu, or Naga swordsmanship. At present, they are far inferior to the alien. These things have a lot of room for improvement, and they will definitely surpass the alien in the future, but the level is too low now. Unlike the alien, it is already quite strong now. But there is no room for improvement. If Xiao He can become stronger, Xiao Ming will wake up with a smile in his dreams. With the hope that Xiao He would soon become stronger, Xiao Ming and the other candidates took an airship to the location of the third exam, Jianjing Tower. The examiner of the third exam was a strange short man. He looked like a pea that had cultivated into a spirit. There are so many strange things in the world. Although this little guy is not good looking, his life energy is still pretty good. Xiao Ming had a good first impression of him. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 233. Mutio squatted on his buttocks and fell into a room with a slap. He rubbed his buttocks and looked around. The other people in the room were the four protagonists, Xiaja, Killua, Leorio, and Kurapika. Xiao Ming thought it was not good. His mission was to protect secretly and he should not show up on his own initiative. Now that he appeared directly in front of Master Killua, I am afraid Wutong would be unhappy. And will Master Killua play tricks on him in the future? He really didn't come in on his own initiative. 10 minutes ago, at the top of the Jianjing Tower, the bean-faced man explained the content of this exam, from the top of the tower to the ground. The time limit is 72 hours. Of course, it refers to the time in the secret realm, not the real time. Xiao Ming thought of flying at the first time. His two Nija have the ability to transform into wings. Although he is not very proficient in using it, it should be no problem to glide down, right? As a result, just thinking about it, he was immediately slapped in the face. A muscular buddy who claimed to be a rock climbing expert climbed down along the outer wall of the Jianjing Tower. As a result, they were eaten by several huge strange birds flying from the sky. Xiao Ming was frightened and broke into a cold sweat. Fortunately, he had explored the way ahead. If he flew down and encountered these strange birds, he would probably die. It's not that he really can't beat them, but he is not familiar with air combat. In the air, even flying is still difficult, let alone fighting. Basically, he can't use any tricks. If he summons a mind beast out of thin air, he will fall directly. It will really be a very ugly death. Don't think about these crooked ways, just walk honestly in the tower. Because he can use the circle to infiltrate the tower to observe, Xiao Ming knows that there is a secret door on the top of the tower, leading to the room below. It's just that he is hesitating about how to pass the level and perform the task of protecting the young master. But he doesn't want to show up in front of Killua. In the end, he didn't have to choose by himself. A nail attached with mind power hit him unexpectedly and sent him directly to a specific secret door, falling down just in time to join the four-man team. Xiaoming had just let his guard down a bit, otherwise the attack of the nail man would not have hit him so easily. And it seemed that the nail man had no intention of hurting him, but just sent him here to pass the level with Killua and others. What was he doing? Xiaoming was very puzzled. Although Xiaoming did not know this nail man, the nail man Illumi knew Mew Mew. As the eldest son and control freak of the Zaldik family, he certainly knew that there was an apprentice housekeeper in the family. When he saw Mew Mew at the venue of the first exam, he understood what was going on. He was also happy to see this kind of thing happen. Just looking at this Mew Mew, with a wretched look, I felt angry. That's why there was a scene of shooting nails to see Xiaoming off. Of course, it was only the back of the nail that hit Xiaoming's butt. If the pointed head was used, Xiaoming would inevitably be injured, so how could he complete the mission? So Xiaoming replaced Dongba in the original plot and became a temporary teammate of the four protagonists. This is also the system's trick. According to the rules, if the player has accumulated enough contribution points, he will have the opportunity to join the protagonist team. At this time, Xiaoming has obviously accumulated more contributions in the two players in the secret realm. Therefore, Xiaoming is qualified to be nailed by Illumi. The protagonist team is usually the focus of plot conflicts. Joining it is bound to be dangerous and opportunity coexisting. Xiaoming is also an old driver and knows a truth. If you don't have the life of the protagonist, don't get close to the protagonist. Therefore, Xiaoming really doesn't like this opportunity. In various film and television animation works, the fastest death is often the supporting role around the protagonist. Xiaoming actually prefers to develop step by step, keep steady and don't waste. It's best not to do things that are too risky. But since you are here, just have fun. Maybe you also have the aura of the protagonist. The test faced by the 5 people is the road of the minority obeying the majority. The test provides a watch for each team member. Whenever the team encounters a fork in the road or a problem of choosing between two options, a general vote must be held. The team members use the symbols X or on the watch to vote. The minority obeys the majority. Without Dongba, the troublemaker, the 5-man team advanced smoothly. They soon arrived at the suspended arena. According to the rules, they had to fight one-on-one with 5 prisoners. The fighting method was chosen by the other party. In the first battle, Xiaoming, who replaced Dongba, would naturally fight against the other mercenary. Going out to fight first could also increase the favorability of the protagonists. The mercenary's combat power was good, but unfortunately this was a world of telekinesis, and if he didn't know telekinesis, there wouldn't be enough bonus. Xiaoming only used the skill bounce, and a few stones bounced over, knocking him down from the suspended arena. It was also because this guy's life energy was really annoying, and he was a very evil person at first glance. And he was full of malice towards Xiaoming, as if he wanted to torture him cruelly. Stimulated by his malice, Xiaoming didn't hold back, and a few stones sent him to the west. In fact, the other party was already dead before he fell. The stone with enhanced telekinesis broke the opponent's internal organs. After showing this skill, the 4-man team looked at Xiaoming with new eyes. Xiaoji and Li Oreo just thought that this team member was very strong. Kurapika and Killua were already guessing the source of Xiaoming's power. They all felt the power of telekinesis. Stimulated by the first victory, the next opponent to come on the field was Zahua. As the name suggests, he is a paper tiger that scares people. He tries to scare off his opponent with his scary appearance after plastic surgery. Unfortunately, this trick has no effect in front of Kurapika. He was defeated in one move. At the same time, a piece of information was revealed. Information about the Phantom Troop. And the hatred between Kurapika and them. Xiaoming secretly memorized this information in his mind. If he is right, this phantom troop must be an important role. If he encounters it in the future, he must be careful. Next, it is time for the opponent's gambling master, Li Luo, to play. Through her clever tricks and beauty, she fooled Leorio. Not only did she lose a game, but she also lost 50 hours of the entire team's time. This big idiot. Because it was match point, the opponent's fourth player was the strongest, Johnny, a mass murderer and dismemberment expert. I hope to win this game safely. As a result, the young master Killua came on the court and easily took the opponent's heart to win. Xiaoji doesn't even need to go on the field. Xiaoming wanted to curse. Master Killua doesn't need anyone to protect him. If it weren't for the fact that he doesn't know how to use telekinesis, his fighting skills would be completely incomparable to Killua's. This superb melee ability is simply not something that Xiaoming, a otaku, can master. It's so scary, Xiaoming is even more determined to try not to fight the enemy in close combat. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 234. Since Leorio lost 50 hours for the team, so the 5 people must stay in the rest room temporarily. They can go out after 50 hours. If there is a book, it will be long, and if there is no book, it will be short. These 50 hours are originally an important project for the system to reduce time. Under normal circumstances, if the player stays here for a while, 50 hours will pass, and the team can go out. But the premise is not to cause trouble. At this time, something happened. Kurapika and others began to ask Xiaoming about telekinesis. Of course, they didn't know the term telekinesis, so they asked why Xiaoming was so powerful. This is one of the backdoors that the system has left for players. Players will naturally get a lot of contribution points by teaching the 4 main characters telekinesis. The results of teaching during this period of time affect the player's rewards. Of course, players don't need to really teach for 50 hours, and no player can stand this. Players with average telekinesis levels just need to tell what they know about telekinesis. This is the most common, but the rewards are definitely average. If the level is higher, you can also force the opening of several people's pores to let the protagonists learn telekinesis in advance. But this should be handled carefully. Once the level is not enough, it may hurt the protagonists. Although the protagonists will definitely not die, but their relatives and friends will definitely come to trouble the players. The most terrifying is Killua's family. Although Xiaoming's strength is average, when it comes to this kind of trick, he can play quite advanced. His source energy can help almost anyone to plant the seeds of any kind of energy and open the door to the use of any kind of energy. And it is completely harmless to the human body. After planting the seeds of telekinesis for the 4 protagonists, Xiaoming took this opportunity to exit the Hunter's secret realm. In the Hunter's secret realm, I stayed a little too long. It was already past 1 p.m. when Xiaoming came out. And then, Xiaoming neither went out for lunch nor rushed into the game. Instead, he took the initiative to use the VIP privileges, teleported to the reincarnation space, and came to the water curtain cave in Huaguo Mountain. What are you doing here? Xiaoming mainly wants to find a safe place to do 2 secret things. My home has been under surveillance, which is not very convenient. So I came to the reincarnation space. Is there any place safer than here? The first thing is the evolution of Xiaohe. Xiaoming's special telepathy, the alien clone Xiaohe, has finally completed its evolution in the Hunter's secret realm. And not only the characters in the Hunter's secret realm, but also the alien clone of Miu Miu has evolved. Xiaoming's telepathy clone has also evolved along with it. This is really convenient. The main reason for this is that Xiaoming's telepathy is more closely integrated with his spirit. The requirements for the body are not very strict. The secondary reason is the Gold Finger superpower. The dual source energy has improved Xiaoming's life form. Xiaoming's various power systems, whether magic, telepathy, chakra, or even fairy magic, all evolved from source energy, so Xiaoming can easily carry these power systems on his body all the time. It seems a bit awkward to say this. Let me explain it with an example. Ordinary players can learn magic in the Magic Planet, learn telekinesis in the Hunter x Hunter Secret Realm, and learn ninjutsu in the Naruto Secret Realm. But these abilities are only learned by their characters. It is difficult to use them outside the specific game or secret realm. Because the player himself has not really learned these things, or more precisely, the player's body has not obtained the corresponding energy system. So the player's character can have these supernatural powers, but the player's body does not. What should I do if I want to have them? Players must study hard in reality and learn supernatural powers in reality. Although this is possible, it is extremely difficult. The environment in reality is really not suitable. Therefore, few players take the abilities in the game seriously. If it is a reincarnation, it is another matter. Xiaoming's situation is different from that of ordinary players, and even different from that of reincarnations. The abilities of players in the game are given by the game system. The abilities of reincarnations are given by the reincarnation space. Many of Xiaoming's abilities are given to Xiaoming by his own source energy. And it is also recognized by the game system and the reincarnation space. The last point is the most difficult. Just like online games. It may be easy to make a plug-in yourself, but it is not easy to get official recognition. The reason why Xiaoming's plugin is recognized is because the basis of the reincarnation space and the game is similar to Xiaoming, both of which are some kind of source energy. The reincarnation space relies on green source energy, which has been mentioned before. The game is also related to source energy, and Xiaoming will find this out in the future. So when Xiaoming learns a certain ability in the game, it is easy for him to achieve similar abilities in reality. Especially those abilities that are more inclined to the spiritual system, pure physical system abilities are relatively much more difficult. For skills like Naga swordsmanship, Xiaoming must practice hard to master them. If you want to become a martial arts master, haha, next life, probably no chance in this life. However, Xiaoming still found a shortcut. If he can't practice well by himself, then let the intelligent program practice. Although they can't reach a particularly high level, they are better than me, right? This is basically a crooked way. It's just that this is more suitable for Xiaoming. No matter whether the cat is black or white, as long as it can catch mice, it is a good cat. Xiao Hei's evolution was successful. Xiao Hei's appearance has basically not changed. His height has not increased, still about 2.3 or 2.4 meters. Only 2 long tentacles have been added to the huge crown, as if there are 2 antennas on top. Although it is ugly, these 2 tentacles have more than doubled the range of Xiao Hei's mental remote control. Strengthened the mental connection between Xiao Hei and the alien children. In other words, Xiao Hei has a wireless Wi-Fi on his head. A sleek black exoskeleton armor, now with a little dark red infiltrated. Other than that, there is no big change in appearance. The real change is in the way of reproduction and inheritance. In the past, Xiao Hei was a parasitic reproduction. The alien embryo was delivered to the host mouth to mouth. Then the embryo absorbs the host's nutrition and certain genetic information in the host's body and grows into an alien larva. The larva breaks out of the host, and this process usually kills the host. After that, the larva relies on eating and grows up rapidly in a short period of time to become an adult alien warrior. To be honest, Xiaoming really doesn't like this way of reproduction. It always needs to be on the mouth, as if it is a hooligan. And it is a hooligan to other species. It's a bit disgusting. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 235. After evolution, the reproduction method of the alien clone is completely different. Now Xiaohe has obtained a new way of reproduction, feeding and laying eggs. That's right, the reproduction method of the alien mind beast has changed from viviparity to oviparity. It sounds like a biological regression. Actually, it can't be said. Because the alien queen originally laid eggs, and the alien species has always been oviparous. The so-called viviparity of Xiaoming's alien clone is not true viviparity at all. It is just a simplified oviparous method. It was not until Alien 4 that the alien queen really played a viviparous game, and then she killed herself. I don't know whether to say that the queen is stupid. Or is maternal love really great? Later, the queen of the chimera ant also died in this way. The specific steps of feeding and laying eggs are as follows. First, the alien clone must eat first, and must eat meat. As a mind beast, Xiaohe does not need to eat at all, and Xiaoming's mind power is enough to maintain it. The purpose of eating meat now is to absorb the DNA information of the species. The alien clone will deliberately retain the genetic information of 1-3 species during the eating process. This information will be integrated into the next alien egg. The offspring hatched will have some characteristics of the other 1-3 species besides the alien and the chimera ant. The way of laying eggs is still that Xiaohe spits out from his mouth. Although it is still a bit disgusting, it is better than laying eggs. Sometimes, Xiaoming also suspects that the reason why Xiaohe retains this way of laying eggs is because Xiaoming himself does not want to lay eggs. He subconsciously resists the act of laying eggs. So the telekinesis has to obey his will. In addition, the number of alien children has also changed. Now Xiaohe can breed up to 13 alien eggs, among which the number of powerful alien guards has increased to 3. Xiaoming thinks that the names of the 10 ordinary alien warriors can be ranked from the eldest to the 10th, and the 3 guards are A, B, and C respectively. Together, they can be called the Alien 13 Taibao, or the Alien 13 Arhats. It just so happens that all aliens are bald. This is not the end. The size of the alien children is no longer restricted, and they will be roughly the same size as Xiaohe. Of course, there will be differences due to the different genetic information received by each individual. The alien children in reality finally do not have to be the size of a dog. They can grow to more than 2 meters. And each one will be very unique, and not all aliens will look the same as before. Xiaoming is very happy about the various miracles after Xiaohe's evolution. It's just that he is happy a little too early. There are always pros and cons. There will never be a thing with only advantages and no disadvantages. Later, Xiaoming gradually learned about several flaws after Xiaohe's evolution. First, due to the change in life form, the 10 alien children that had already taken shape all disappeared. Whether in reality or in the game. This change is not bad. After Xiaohe evolved, Xiaoming wanted to change the alien warrior. Secondly, Xiaohe in the game has shrunk in size. Probably because of the influence of the chimera ant gene. After all, the aliens and chimera ants are 2 different species. In the alien colony, the queen is the strongest and largest one. But her job is to lay eggs, which is not very efficient and a bit wasteful. But in the chimera ant colony, the queen can hardly see how strong her fighting power is. She has a little bit, but it is very weak. Her body size is also average. The chimera ant queen relies almost entirely on the protection of soldier ants. The efficiency is good, but the queen's protection is too low. Xiaoming's telekinesis balanced the two and took a middle value. Xiaohe, the ancestor queen of the chimera alien, has roughly the same fighting power as the entire colony. It is about lower than the strongest alien guards, but higher than ordinary alien warriors. At this time, Xiaoming still didn't know that there was a king among the chimera ants. Xiaoming didn't get this information during this fusion. What really cheated people was the changes in the game. After this evolution, Xiaohe in the game has the same body size as in reality, only about 2.4 meters tall. It has shrunk to half of its original size, so Xiaohe's combat power has also shrunk a lot. In the past, Xiaohe, who was more than 4 meters tall, had a combat power of level 5. It was definitely Xiaoming's powerful killer. It was Xiaoming's strongest trump card in the main game and the major secret realms. Most of the time, as long as Xiaohe hasn't made a move, Xiaoming is always confident. If Xiaohe still can't break the situation after making a move, Xiaoming's morale will plummet. Now it's good. Xiaohe's strength has dropped to about level 3 intermediate. The guards are level 3 advanced, and ordinary soldiers are level 3 low. This is good, all of them are level 3. But don't be discouraged, this nest of aliens has all been blessed by telekinesis. Each of them is a telekinesis user. With telekinesis, this level is difficult to judge. It depends on the type of telekinesis. Generally, it can at least increase by half a level. If the telekinesis is well developed, it is not strange to increase by 1 level. But the growth of telekinesis requires a process. Overall, this evolution has more advantages than disadvantages. Otherwise, there would be no need for evolution. In reality, Xiaoming's combat effectiveness has been greatly improved. And Xiaoming's combat power in the game of the Magic Planet and the Secret Realm will temporarily decline. Of course, Xiaoming didn't know this at the moment. He was completely immersed in excitement. Until he received an invitation from the space. Reincarnation Space Tip, hello, VIP No 007, temporary reincarnation number XXX, garbled code. Send a random team invitation to temporary reincarnations who are temporarily idle in all reincarnation spaces. Invite 5 temporary reincarnations to help him complete all the main tasks of the next reincarnation world. Do you accept the invitation? Phi Pan, what? This is also possible? Xiaoming suddenly felt a little confused. A temporary reincarnation can actually randomly invite people to team up to complete the task. Does this family have a mind? Or is there someone above? This kind of invitation, you can imagine, must not be cheap. A temporary reincarnation can actually afford this price? Xiaoming had to raise his middle finger and praise damn rich man. But he still took the task obediently. Why not make money? Of course, Xiaoming does not earn money, but the energy of the reincarnation space reward, as well as the items after the score mall is refreshed. Reincarnation World, The Matrix 1. Mainline Task 1, find any one of Morpheus, Neo, and Trinity within 3 days. After any reincarnation is found, all the people who participated in this task will gather. As a VIP, Xiaoming can do this task or not. In the original Hunter, feeding and laying eggs is called feeding and mating, which is seriously suspected of driving. It is slightly modified in this book. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 236. Xiaoming looked around and didn't see any other reincarnations. That is to say, at the beginning, several reincarnations were scattered. This arrangement is reasonable. After all, they are looking for people, and it is more suitable for everyone to disperse to complete the task. Although he was invited by other reincarnations to do the task. But as a VIP, Xiaoming will not be punished if he does not do the task. If he completes the task, he will get the reward provided by the inviter. In this case, Xiaoming doesn't mind doing the task by the way. Besides, after all, he wasted an invitation quota. It's really unrefined to do nothing. You should still make some contributions. The world of the Matrix 1 is a world with relatively advanced technology, which is roughly equivalent to the level of Pangostar New Han Kingdom decades ago. In this world, Xiaoming's identity is a small policeman in a big city, participating in a task of chasing a suspect. The suspect is in an abandoned building. Xiaoming doesn't know what he did specifically. The superiors didn't tell them clearly. Moreover, Xiaoming was just an ordinary policeman. It was none of his business to arrest the criminals. He was only responsible for surrounding the criminals below. However, Xiaoming's circle was released early in the morning. The suspect was found soon. It should be the woman in room 303 above. Just looking at this life energy, she doesn't look like a bad person. However, my goodness, this tight leather jacket is so sexy. It's a pity that her appearance is a bit too mature and too Western, which is not the type Xiaoming likes. And she gave Xiaoming a very strange feeling. This woman seemed to be out of tune with others. Soon, even more out of tune people came. A black car brought three strange men in black. The three of them gave Xiaoming the feeling that they were not like people at all, but more like what? By the way, more like some kind of intelligent program. Could it be that among these people, there will be their own mission targets? The series of events that happened next shocked Xiaoming. First, the woman in black killed several policemen who went up to arrest her with her unusually agile skills. Then, a man in black led a group of policemen and chased her on the roof. Then the woman and the man in black made an impossible and wonderful big jump. They jumped over the distance of nearly 20 meters between the two buildings. This is not something that a normal person can do. Could it be that these two people are extraordinary people? Then the combat power of this world is extraordinary. Xiaoming followed them on the street, wanting to see more of the performance of these extraordinary people. As a result, he saw the most terrifying scene. Under the threat of being hit by a truck, the woman in black picked up a telephone receiver and disappeared out of thin air. The three men in black chatted for a few words and left. Xiaoming was left alone in a daze in the dark. After a careful feeling, it was indeed not right. Xiaoming now felt like he was in a magic planet. That's right, it was like playing a game. The body in front of him was not his own body. And the sense of reality of this body was not as real as the feeling in the magic planet. It was probably a little stronger than the sense of reality of some simpler immersive games that Xiaoming had played before. After all this fuss, it turns out that this world is a game world. Xiaoming tried to summon the uniform butler and opened the butler's space, Guangmingding. As expected, there was nothing in Guangmingding. This is definitely not the real world. If it is a game, Xiaoming also has a countermeasure. On Pangostar, he can log into the game with telekinesis. The game he is in now is not as good as the magic planet. He should be able to move freely. Xiaoming summoned the game goddess of the uniform series to analyze the connection method of this game together. To be honest, the virtual world of the magic planet is still more advanced than the virtual world matrix of the matrix. After more than 3 hours, Xiaoming successfully analyzed the method of networking the matrix. In a thought, Green Xiaoming left the matrix and woke up in the real world of the matrix. Of course, the system will not treat the body of the reincarnation like the natives of this world. Shave the hair, make dozens of holes, and connect to the matrix with various catheters and wires. The reincarnation will not agree to this. So the treatment of the reincarnation is special. Their identities are all native residents of Zion, the human resistance army. There are no holes on their bodies. Then Zion has a special game chamber that can connect reincarnations to the matrix without wires. This so-called game chamber is specially prepared for reincarnations. Plot characters cannot use it at all, and will not use it. In theory, people who use this game chamber are in danger of getting lost in the matrix. Even their memories will be lost. So the identity that the reincarnation begins to play is the resident of Zion who is lost in the matrix. As long as the reincarnation finds a way to leave the matrix, he will know his identity and get the background information of the matrix. When Green Xiaoming exited the matrix, he came directly to the real world. Because he found a way to leave the matrix in this very short time. Therefore, the reincarnation space gave a special identity reward. So Xiaoming's real identity is an ordinary crew member on Morpheus's spaceship Nebuchadnezzar. His game chamber is placed in Morpheus's spaceship. When he got up from the game cabin and received the information transmitted by the reincarnation space, he already understood the general situation of this reincarnation world. Soon Xiaoming was received by Captain Murphy's and met several other crew members. So the main task 1 was completed by Xiaoming inexplicably. Xiaoming actually hadn't exerted his strength yet. He was just tinkering with his own things. As a result, he accidentally completed the task. So the special plot started. Murphy's led his crew to get through the contact and brought back several other reincarnations. The first one to be brought back was the inviter of the random team and the publisher of the task, the temporary reincarnation Kraken. He looked like a very ordinary European from Pangustar. But every time this guy spoke, he gave people a weird feeling. "Mr. Leader, it's nice to meet you. Thank you for completing the first main task so quickly. It's nothing to do for money. I'm also happy to meet you, Mr. Kraken." The names of both parties are code names given to themselves by each person. The other party complimented, "Master, you are so powerful. I hope you will take care of me in the future." No, take care of each other, take care of each other. Xiaoming finally understood why it felt weird. This Kraken was too polite. It made people feel a little uncomfortable. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 237. According to a certain scholar's research, those who are particularly polite are not suitable to be friends. Zhang Xiaoming has encountered this before, and it is indeed difficult to deal with. What I am talking about here is not the kind of professional politeness or politeness. What I am talking about here is the kind of politeness that is deeply rooted in the bones, permanent and unchanging, and polite in every sentence. Even if the two parties have communicated for a while, they can actually speak more freely, but the other party is still as polite as ever. You are forced to be polite all the time. It is really tiring to talk like this. It's not that there is anything wrong with being polite. It's just that it's hard to talk to him. But this Kraken is different. In Xiaoming's perception of telekinesis, his situation is unique. Xiaoming has now trained himself to the point that the roundness and condensation of telekinesis are almost always on, and never closed. This is a heavy burden for normal telekinesis users. However, Xiaoming has two source energies that can continuously provide telekinesis. This consumption is not important. If Xiaoming now converts all source energies into telekinesis, his reserve of telekinesis is stronger than that of Netero, the leader of the Hunter Guild. But it is only a large amount. Xiaoming's tap for releasing telekinesis is too small. With his release speed, the consumption of telekinesis is not as fast as the self-recovery of source energy. With this foundation, Xiaoming naturally keeps the circle and condensation on all day long. The kind of very polite people who cannot be deeply friends. Their life energy falls on Xiaoming's eyes. It can be seen that they are very serious and even picky about any small details. But this Kraken is obviously not. His life energy seems to be the type that is more open-minded and cheerful. Logically, he should not be a person who is particularly polite in every word. But he is just like that. Seeing him say every word politely, it feels very peaceful. It's like seeing that Jiao Feng has been speaking in the tone of Madame Ma. Super unnatural. Xiaoming really doesn't understand what's wrong with this buddy. But his heart is relaxed. The other party is not a picky character, so Lu Xiaoming is no longer particularly polite. I can talk as I want. The two of them actually chatted well, which made the other reincarnations who were scared away by Kraken very puzzled. They were surprised that their conversation could last so long. At the same time, Yin Xiaoming was still in the Matrix and had not come out. He controlled Xiaoming's role in the Matrix and looked around. After knowing that the Matrix was a virtual world, Yin Xiaoming felt that everything in the Matrix was very fresh. After watching for a long time, some virtual clues can indeed be seen. For example, in Xiaoming's circle, some program loopholes can be seen. For example, the fault in the middle of the building and the repeated items. This is the performance of the program in this world being frequently modified. This situation has never appeared in the Magic Planet. Not to mention the reincarnation worlds created by the reincarnation space. The Matrix is like a game, and magic, ninjutsu and the like can still be used. As long as Xiaoming provides energy, mana, chakra, etc. The Matrix 1, as a relatively common world in the early stage, is a place that the reincarnationists both fear and love. What they fear is that this place is sometimes really unreasonable. The body and the spirit are in two different places, and it is difficult to protect them at the same time. The three agents of the Matrix are very perverted, and they can't run away if they are targeted. The difficulty is a bit high. Even the first main task, finding a way to return to reality. It stumped many people. But once the reincarnationists complete the first task and return to reality, they can enjoy a sweet fruit. Skill download. There is a very perverted ability in the Matrix, which is skill download. This is also the place where the reincarnationists love this world. The resistance can use computer programs to instantly download the skills needed by the reincarnationists into the brains of the reincarnationists. Its effect is comparable to the skills bought in the reincarnation world, which is real and effective. And it does not consume the shopping coupons of the reincarnationists. In comparison, the skill download system of the New Han Kingdom is much worse. After all, the technical level is not as good as others. Of course, this skill download is not unlimited. The number and types of skills that a reincarnation can download all depend on how well the first main task is done. Xiaoming did the first main task perfectly. Unless a high-level reincarnation comes to the novice village to play tricks. Otherwise, a normal reincarnation cannot complete the task as quickly as Xiaoming. He doesn't even need the help of the rebels to break away from the mother body. This won Xiaoming a high evaluation. So Xiaoming was able to download 3 good skills. 1. Computer hacking technology. This technology is Xiaoming's weakness. Xiaoming's solution to computer problems is only one boot and restart. He doesn't understand anything else. He is too lazy to learn. This technology was downloaded to make up for one of Xiaoming's shortcomings. In fact, Xiaoming is also prepared for danger in times of peace. Facing the nine-tailed fox, the military, and major forces. Xiaoming thinks that he should learn computer technology to improve his self-protection ability on the internet. His current protection in this regard is entirely provided by the nine-tailed fox. It is a bit controlled by others. It is better to learn it yourself. Of course, as long as the skills are downloaded into Xiaoming's brain, Mao Mao will definitely learn them as well. Without the support of powerful hardware, Mao Mao's academic performance is not as good as Xiaoming's. Finally, Xiaoming regained a little confidence. Relying on such things to find confidence, Xiaoming is really useless. 2. Driving skills of various means of transportation. Even including driving spaceships. Although in the Matrix, the spaceships of the rebels are very primitive and cannot fly out of the atmosphere. But Xiaoming's score is high enough. The reincarnation space made a very humane adjustment. Therefore, the driving skills downloaded by Xiaoming include spaceship driving. Unfortunately, even if he learned it, there is no corresponding spaceship for him to practice. At most, he can practice with the Nebuchadnezzar. The prerequisite is that Morpheus is generous enough. It is the driving skills of various motorcycles, cars, ships, airplanes, tanks, etc. that are most helpful to Xiaoming now. There are a lot of things to practice in the simulation program. This item is also Xiaoming's shortcoming. Xiaoming, a otaku, is unwilling to take risks. He can only drive a car very regularly. Such skills are definitely not enough for the reincarnation world. It is better to learn driving skills early rather than late. 3. Various close combat skills. This major item is the real highlight. The skills downloaded by Xiaoming include Judo, Taekwondo, Karate, Tai Chi, Bagwazang, Wing Chun, and dozens of other basic fighting techniques. Xiaoming's poor close combat skills are well known. After downloading these skills, Xiaoming's close combat ability immediately improved by several levels. No wonder, after downloading the skills, the first sentence Xiaoming said when he opened his eyes was, "I know Kung Fu." Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 238. Oh, got it? The crew on the spaceship only had the simplest reaction to Xiaoming's bold statement that he knew Kung Fu. We got it? Because all the crew members knew Kung Fu. No one cared if Xiaoming knew it. In the original movie, Neo learned Kung Fu and attracted everyone's attention and onlookers because Morpheus always believed that Neo was the one savior. When Neo learned Kung Fu, he took the initiative to teach him moves. Naturally, it aroused the curiosity of the crew. How powerful is Neo? Xiaoming would not arouse such curiosity at all. But it aroused the envy and jealousy of other reincarnations. Because the main task was completed by Xiaoming. So only Xiaoming got the reward for downloading skills. In addition, Xiaoming was hired by Kraken. He spent the money on the idea. So Kraken can also download a technology. The other 4 temporary reincarnations will not get this reward. How can they balance their hearts? So, one of them, nicknamed Wolf King, asked to fight with Xiaoming in the virtual space. This Wolf King is a Westerner, tall and strong, with bulging muscles. He is a man of great strength. He looked at his life energy. Xiaoming ignored this kind of guy with bad intentions and turned away. The yellow monkeys are all sissy. Go back to your mother's belly, the Wolf King spoke with disdain. He rebelled against him. The Chinese on Pangu Star are so powerful that they are the best among all the heroes and suppress the world. They are specialized in dealing with all kinds of disobedience. They really achieved those who offend the Chinese will be punished even if they are far away. Such insulting words are only dared to be said by a few Westerners in private occasions and in front of their own people. Those who speak out in public have been trained by the Chinese countries. This is the first time that a Westerner has said such insulting words in front of Xiaoming. Do you think you can be arrogant just because you are a reincarnation? This Wolf King is a little stupid. Seeing that Xiaoming's physique doesn't seem to be very strong, he wants to bully others with his strength. In fact, he is also a bully who only bullies the weak and fears the strong. If he is a real warrior, he will never take the initiative to PK with Xiaoming, who seems to be physically weak. It is not fair to win. The Wolf King is just a temporary reincarnation, and his combat power can barely be considered E-level. This person has already lost self-control. It can be seen that extraordinary power is not something that everyone can control. Like Captain America, people who can remember their original intentions even if they are powerful are the real strong ones. This Wolf King has the temper of Sun Wukong. After learning a little, he doesn't know the height of the world. Green Xiaoming didn't even turn around to look at him. He stood still with his feet, and a murderous aura rose from his body. That was the murderous aura imitating the alien clone. Xiaoming only aimed at the Wolf King and pressed the murderous aura over like a tidal wave. The Wolf King trembled all over instantly, as if he had seen a natural enemy. That was the natural fear of the lower creatures to the upper creatures. It was like being pressed down by a towering mountain. The Wolf King couldn't move, didn't dare to move, didn't dare to make a sound, didn't dare to sweat, and didn't even dare to breathe. If Xiao Ming just beat him up, he would be seriously injured at most. He couldn't kill people just because they said bad things, right? Besides, this was still in the Nebuchadnezzar spacecraft. Killing people would definitely cause a lot of trouble. I guess you can't just fight casually. But if you just hurt him, how can Xiao Ming get rid of this bad temper? So Xiao Ming thought of this way. Use murderous aura to deal with him. This murderous aura is not only from the alien, but also from the Chimera ants. In fact, the strength of the Chimera ants is far superior to that of the aliens. The pressure is as vast as the ocean. In an instant, Xiao Ming's murderous aura penetrated every cell and every corner of the Wolf King's body. It even seriously damaged the Wolf King's mental consciousness. From now on, he can no longer fight with others. All his blood, courage, and will have disappeared. In the future, let alone being a reincarnationist, even if he is an ordinary person, he will be the most cowardly person. He will not fight back when he is beaten or scolded. This is actually a good thing for him. From now on, the Wolf King will never be brave and aggressive again, and will never bully others with force. Instead, he has become a good man. As Xiao Ming's footsteps gradually walked away, the pressure on the Wolf King gradually weakened until it disappeared. The Wolf King was finally not suffocated to death, and finally breathed out. But his body also collapsed to the ground, saliva, snot mixed with cold sweat, soaking his clothes. Hey, where does the stench come from? Oh, it turns out that the Wolf King has lost control of his bowels and bladder. The other reincarnationists were also confused. This leader is too cruel. The Wolf King just said something unpleasant. Killing people is not enough. Is it really necessary to make people like this? People's hearts often tend to be weak. When the Wolf King was speaking out, the other reincarnations were not satisfied with his actions. It was just that they were all selfish and jealous of Xiao Ming's gains. So they did not speak out. Now, it seems that there is no position to accuse Xiao Ming of being too heavy-handed. First, what did he do earlier? It was obvious that the Wolf King was not right in this matter. Why didn't he say anything at that time? Now he comes out to take sides and be double standard. I really can't do it. Second, Xiao Ming didn't do anything. How can he say that he was too strong? He made Wolf King like this just by his aura. If you want to blame someone, you can only blame Wolf King for his weak willpower. He was actually scared to death. How can he survive in the circle of reincarnationists in the future? Haha, I think too much. Wolf King will never be a reincarnationist again. This is also thanks to the relatively loose policy of the reincarnation space. If a reincarnationist quits, he only needs to wash away his memory and extraordinary power. The reincarnation space will not erase the reincarnationist who quits, and will not harm the relatives and friends of the reincarnationist. And some other existences similar to the reincarnation space have some very unfriendly system rules. After the incident with Wolf King, not only did the reincarnationists start to avoid Xiao Ming, but even the other crew members were a little afraid of Xiao Ming. Only Kraken seemed to be fine and continued to chat with Xiao Ming very politely. Xiao Ming also found that Kraken's knowledge was really good and he could talk about any topic. The perspective of looking at the problem is also very novel. On this day, when Xiao Ming was chatting with Kraken, Captain Morpheus came to Xiao Ming. "William, follow me," Morpheus said to Xiao Ming in his unique low voice. William is Xiao Ming's name in this reincarnation world. We can't let all the characters in the plot call Xiao Ming the leader, right? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 239. Although the reincarnation space can also allow the plot characters to call the reincarnations by nicknames, but doing so is always a bit out of place. The ability of humans to give themselves nicknames is really terrifying. There are all kinds of weird names. If you look at those plot characters, they call the reincarnations by weird nicknames seriously. Probably all the reincarnations will have to laugh. Of course, the real names of the reincarnations cannot be exposed, so the reincarnation space simply gives the reincarnations a random name to deal with it. As long as it is a reincarnation world that requires an identity, the reincarnations will have a local name. Xiaoming's name in the Matrix 1 is William. In the virtual space, Morpheus, who fought with William several times, felt very novel. The other crew members have also practiced with him, and they were all normal close combat. They have never encountered Xiaoming's strange fighting style. At the beginning of the battle, Xiaoming still fought with him seriously. As a result, Xiaoming was beaten to a loss. Although so many martial arts moves were downloaded, there were big problems in running in. If they exchanged moves one after another, Xiaoming could still fight well. Once the enemy got close and the frequency of attack was faster, Xiaoming would panic. He didn't dare to fight with the opponent, and always tried to keep a distance, so he would unconsciously forget to counterattack. In a fight, you must maintain a certain offensive momentum so that the enemy can't let go and attack you. If you defend for a long time, you will lose. As long as the opponent sees this point, he can always easily knock Xiaoming down. At this time, Morpheus was just a little disappointed, and thought William, Xiaoming, could be very powerful. Yesterday, he scared another crew member like that just by his momentum. Now he has taken the initiative to return to Zion. In fact, the Wolf King has left the reincarnation world and gave up this mission. This is something that even Morpheus himself can't do. Morpheus originally expected that William could become a main force in the battle. As a result, he found out today that this William was not suitable for fighting at all. His disappointment can be imagined. The other crew members also had different emotions. The few reincarnations were speechless when they saw this situation. It seems that leader is just a paper tiger, with a very powerful and invincible aura. When it comes to fighting, he is nothing and powerless. Wolf King lost unfairly. Morpheus did not give up completely and told Xiaoming his teachings. It is also what he would say to every crew member. The general idea is, in the Matrix, a person's combat effectiveness is only related to his spiritual consciousness and soul, and has nothing to do with his physical strength. The digital body and various rules are just means to restrict the spirit. Humans can also break through it with their own mental power. These words are basically of no help to Xiaoming. Xiaoming is actually very clear about this matter. During the time that Green Xiaoming was on the spacecraft, Silver Xiaoming had been in the Matrix, conducting various experiments. Just now, Green Xiaoming insisted on fighting Morpheus in close combat, just to prove it. Prove that he really has no close combat ability. Then try the tricks developed by Silver Xiaoming. In the virtual space, Morpheus and Xiaoming bowed to each other and fought again. Morpheus spread his hands up and down and took a defensive posture. Unexpectedly, a shadow suddenly floated out from Xiaoming and attacked Morpheus's bald head with a chain palm. Morpheus countered the move and fought back. Looking closely, it turned out to be a person in a full-body Special Forces uniform. And judging from her physical characteristics, she seemed to be a woman. But who is Morpheus? He clearly felt the unreality from this female Special Forces soldier. It should be some ability of this William. This kind of thing has also happened. There are many programs in the Matrix that can make themselves seem to have almost superpowers like William. Morpheus thought that only the Savior could do this among humans. He never expected that there were other humans who could do this. It seems that after the battle, I have to have a good chat with William. Now, I still have to deal with this Special Forces soldier first. This Special Forces soldier is not as clumsy as William. The fight was very smooth, and his attainments in Bagwazang were quite good. Morpheus met his match and had a great time. The Special Forces clone was a beginner, but Morpheus was not a real martial arts master. They were both equally matched, and the Special Forces were inferior. At this moment, another Special Forces soldier floated out of Xiao Ming's body. This new Special Forces soldier was a karate master. 2 against 1, Morpheus was a little overwhelmed. But he could still hold on for a while. Then the third Special Forces soldier who knew Wing Chun also joined the battle. Morpheus only lasted 3 moves before raising his hands to surrender. When he surrendered, he saw 7 or 8 Special Forces soldiers standing around William. Damn! This is too bullying. If this group rushed forward, Morpheus would not be a match even if he had 3 heads and 6 arms. Trinity, Sephiroth and other crew members understood. William should have a strong mental power and also has very special hacking skills. He can have superpowers in the womb. Others don't have such strong mental power, so they can't bear those superpowers. In fact, this is the system automatically rationalizing this matter. Let the characters in the plot accept the various abilities of the reincarnation without obstacles. Other temporary reincarnations also understood that the leader was just a faker. How could he be a temporary reincarnation with such strength? He probably used some props to show off in the novice village. Maybe he was the expert specially invited by the rich Kraken. I don't know how much Kraken paid. Kraken was also a little confused. He found that his understanding of the reincarnation leader was still too superficial. No wonder he could complete the main task one so early. It was really lucky to invite the leader for this task. I must build a good relationship with him in the future. After the battle, Morpheus led Xiao Ming to the safest room on the spaceship, the captain's room, for a talk. Xiao Ming also half-truthfully explained his ability. He also confessed some misunderstandings of others. And because of Xiao Ming's reminder, Morpheus finally added a layer of vigilance to Sephiroth. Sever, the traitor, can deceive others, but not Xiao Ming's roundness and concentration. Xiao Ming just had no chance to tell Morpheus and the others about this, and now that the time was right, he casually revealed it. In the Matrix, Xiao Ming's source energy played a stronger role than in the Magic Planet. Xiao Ming combined the uniform series of mind beasts with the ninjutsu clone technique. He created a special technique that belongs to Xiao Ming, the uniform mind beast clone. The activation and maintenance of this technique requires the consumption of mind power and chakra at the same time. No one else can withstand this consumption. Magic Planet Online Game. Author, Lanzai Cai Shi Zhen Shen. Chapter 240. A new skill created by combining mind power and ninjutsu, subduing mind beast clones. It combines the advantages of mind beasts and clone techniques. It is definitely the best choice for home travel, murder, and arson. First of all, each mind beast clone has the ability to act independently. Each clone has a certain degree of intelligence. It is similar to a robot with an intelligent program installed. This is also due to the programming ability of Xiao Ming, a senior hacker. Unlike the previous subduing mind beasts, Xiao Ming still needs to give orders in person before they can act. In the words of the Hunter Secret Realm, this is to change the mind beasts from remote control to automatic. Secondly, the number of clones of each mind beast has increased. In the past, there could only be one of each mind beast. After Xiao Ming developed the true dual purpose, 2 can exist at the same time. Now, multiple clones of the same kind of mind beast can exist at the same time. However, for the mind beasts that really have the corresponding skills, a single soul can support up to 3. If both souls are there, 6 can be supported. The others are just for show and fooling people. That is to say, although Green Xiaoming just summoned more than 10 special forces beasts, in fact, only the 3 that fought with Morpheus were real Special Forces beasts. The 7 or 8 beasts around Xiaoming were just for show, just for show. They didn't even have basic combat power, let alone martial arts. They were just used to scare people. And the effect was very good, and all the crew members of the Nebuchadnezzar were scared. Of course, if different types of beast clones are summoned, there is no specific limit on the number. As long as Xiaoming's telekinesis and chakra are sufficient. In order to improve combat effectiveness and save telekinesis, Xiaoming made special settings for the Special Forces beast clones. Xiaoming didn't teach all the martial arts moves downloaded in his mind to every Special Force soldier. Because in terms of the martial arts novel Xiaoming has read, it is actually more beneficial to specialize in one martial arts. Because each martial arts has its own unique features. Mixing them all together will be more chaotic. Specializing in one or several is the best way. Others can be applied by analogy. So when Xiaoming summons a special force, this mind beast clone will be specially given a martial arts skill by Xiaoming. If Xiaoming is too lazy to choose, a martial arts skill will be randomly selected. Not only martial arts, but also the driving skills that Xiaoming has learned can be selectively given to special forces. This makes Xiaoming's tactical team more complete and more adaptable. Even the spaceship can be driven away. And the hacking skills downloaded by Xiaoming were integrated by Xiaoming to the game goddess. In the future, in addition to helping Xiaoming log into the game goddess will have more hacking work. After understanding Xiaoming's specific combat power, Morpheus was very happy that the strength of his troops has become stronger. However, for the sake of caution, Morpheus did not take the initiative to invite Xiaoming to participate in the process of saving Neo from the mother body. Similarly, he did not take the initiative to invite other temporary reincarnations. There is a person nicknamed A Sword Light coldly illuminates the 9 states who has done a lot of trivial things for the rebels. Successfully sneaked into this mission. After the mission was completed, this brother Zhaozhous who also got the right to download skills. Although his contribution was not great, he only downloaded a small motorcycle driving skill. But his success gave hope to several other reincarnationists. It must be said that they were a little shocked by Xiaoming's abnormality before. Except for Kraken, several people were a little depressed. The success of Yuji and Guanghan Zhaozhous who made them cheer up again. They are not competing with Xiaoming, so what is there to be depressed about? Everyone is competing with the reincarnation world, so why not work hard to become stronger? Why care about whether others are strong or not? In the next few days, Morpheus and others helped Neo recover his health and explained to him what the Matrix is. He also downloaded skills for Neo. Neo's first sentence was exactly the same as Xiaoming's, "I know Kung Fu." Then Morpheus fought Neo, which was another wonderful thing. Neo's performance was also amazing. But soon, Neo failed in the jump training again. For the first time, he failed to jump more than 20 meters at a time. This super long jump skill is still useful for temporary reincarnationists. But the reincarnations are not qualified to learn. If they want to learn, they must contribute more to the resistance. During this period, Xiaoming also brought the glorious tradition of thrift and frugality to the world of the Matrix. One day, when the Nebuchadnezzar was docked for maintenance, Xiaoming also ran outside the spacecraft. Silver Xiaoming separated from the mother body and returned to William first. Then he quickly possessed Xiaohe and began his life in the wild. Speaking of Xiaohe, Xiaoming was a little unhappy. When he received the invitation, he hoped in his heart that this mission would be a world suitable for Xiaohe. The result was a world of machines, and even living things could not be seen in the real world. The sun was blocked, photosynthesis could not be carried out, and there were no plants on the earth. Without the foundation of the food chain, the ecosystem disappeared. It seems that only the machine empire and humans are left on the entire earth. The humans kept in captivity by the mother body eat the nutrients provided by the mother body, and the most important raw material is other dead humans. The humans in Zion can only eat some synthetic food. Such a place is actually not suitable for Xiaohe to display his talents. Xiaohe just got a new ability, eating and laying eggs. But this new world doesn't even have an ecosystem. There are no animals for him to eat. However, Xiaoming still sent him out. Yin Xiaoming needed a powerful carrier. Besides, although there are no living things in this world, there are many machines, and all kinds of mechanical wreckage are everywhere. For Xiaoming, who has the ability to repair, this is a treasure. It can be said to be a shipwreck in another world. So Yin Xiaoming possessed Xiaohe, wearing purple vine armor and carrying 100 ghosts box. With Xiao Hong and Xiao Lu, 2 maids, he happily went to pick up garbage. Picking up garbage with 2 beautiful maids, this style is a bit weird. Soon, a new plot began, and Morpheus will lead everyone to visit the Prophet. Mainly to take the Savior Neo to give the Prophet a look. A group of reincarnations were also taken there. It seems that everyone has made enough contributions. The natives will get some prophecies when they see the Prophet. There will be some revelations about the future. When the reincarnations see the Prophet, they will get some spiritual improvement. But it also depends on the quality of each person. The upgrades you get will be varied. Unfortunately, each reincarnation can only receive a Prophet's upgrade once. Skill downloads and Prophet upgrades are the flagship products of the Matrix world. Almost all junior reincarnations want to come to this world once. Even middle and high-level reincarnations who are already relatively strong have some demand for this world. But it is difficult for them to enter this world, and there are many restrictions. If you are not careful, you may die in this unreasonable place. But everyone is still flocking to it. The invitation letter to the Matrix world has also been hyped up to a sky-high price.